That makes much more difference, because here there will be underpayment of tax of a very significant amount of 300 million rupees. So I think this is the other aspect, that in the case of tax audits, in my judgment, the materiality will be far less than the financial statement audit, and I think the rule of thumb could be that it should be 50% of the audit materiality in the case of audit of financial statements. That is,
वहाँ पे 10% है तो
यहाँ पर 5% होना चाहिए, something like that. But again, you see, it has to be a judgment has to be exercised by the auditor, and we expect that our auditors who are trained in the profession of audit, they are specialized in this. They will use their professional judgment, keeping in view these considerations. So these are some, and obviously apart from that, here your focus will be the adjustments, because I think again the risk-based approach should be there, as we have provided in the audit framework also. In the case of financial statement audit also there is a risk, here also the risk, but the risks are different, and the advice or the approach that should be taken by the tax auditor is he should not try to repeat everything that has been done by the statutory auditor, and in most situations he should rely and not replicate the work that has already been done. The focus should be on the reconciliation items, and the focus should be on the reconciliation between the income tax and the sales tax, etc. And mind you, another difference is that this is an integrated audit concept. There are two opinions here. In the financial statements audit, there is one audit opinion on whether or not the financial statements give a true and fair view. Here, there are two opinions, one concerning the sales tax and the other concerning the income tax related information. But the audit has to be integrated. You have to plan it in a manner that you achieve the objectives of both audits together, but ultimately you have to give two opinions.
Thank you, Asad. I think iske upar probably we'll discussing more when we'll be doing the workshops for our members, how to basically plan and do the audit. Thank you. Abdul Qadir, आप बताइए कि अभी तक मार्केट में क्या सेंटीमेंट्स हैं टैक्स कंसल्टेंट्स के पर्टिकुलरली अदर देन चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हु रिप्रेजेंट द क्लाइंट्स, कि ये जो अच्छी चीज़ होने जा रही है या नहीं अच्छी चीज़ होने जा रही है, ऑल टुगेदर रबिश है या इसको इम्प्रूव किया जा सकता है. आई यूज़ द वर्ड रबिश मीन्स के मतलब मैंने डेलिबरेटली यूज़ किया कि कुछ लोगों से सुनने में ये चीज़ें आ रही हैं. दैट्स व्हाई आई वांटेड टू लिसन फ्रॉम यू कि आपका क्या इसमें मतलब ये है कि इज़ इट गोइंग टू बी मतलब ये है कि
first of all, I would like to thank you for this wonderful opportunity and the team, your team, and the president of ICAP. Let's first of all analyze what is the role of the tax consultant, including you and myself. We all are doing the tax consultancy. I think our prime job is to implement the law. And since the law 177 very clearly say that it can be the firms of the chartered accountant and the cost and management accountants can be authorized to conduct the audit, and that has been done in accordance with the law. So I think whether somebody is like it or not, it is in accordance with the law. So I think that has to be implemented. The second thing comes and how people would like to know that. I think people have the perception of the past experience, which you, I think, is made a commendable job. You, Shabbar Sahab and Asad Sahab, that you made a total audit framework. Guidelines is available. It is. I think, is a wonderful opportunity for the chartered accountants to make their self, available, and to show that they are more competent to do this job. But my point of emphasis is that whether this balloting was in accordance with the law which is presently available, whether there is any room which can be debatable. People are not talking of anything against the audit, but I think people are talking that the government should not decide the things in one day. They should amend the law and then take the step accordingly. For example, the law was amended on 28th of October, whereby the Finance Ordinance 2009 was brought in, whereas CBR has no power to do the random balloting. The people is, it is debatable, but if you ask my point of view, I think if we take the ratio of the judgment in the Shah Faisal by the Supreme Court of Pakistan, whereby it has been very categorically said that if the amendment made on or after any date, it will have a prospective effects. So, in my point of view, the government of Pakistan was having the powers in 177(1) to select do the random balloting according to the law, and random balloting can be one of the criteria. But I believe, and we already pointed out at the time of the balloting, that government may have taken some precautionary measure whereby giving more powers to the Central Board of Revenue to do a random balloting, you know, that can be avoided. But it is debatable. But let me assure you that Pakistan requires that there has to be a system, and the system can only be done when we have the effective universal self-assessment scheme connected by an effective audit. And Shabbar Sahab and we will recall that in the meeting when it was decided, it was exactly very rightly pointed out by Shabbar Sahab that it was actually a capacity building of the Federal Board of Revenue instead of outsourcing the business to the chartered accountants, you know. So I think that's.
I think we need to consider here certain basic fundamental facts, because this is a very educated audience, and you know, the FBR is there, the chartered accountants are there, the other consultants and business community is also there. ये जो हम बात करते हैं sampling की और selection की, as to my knowledge, correct me if I am wrong, I think Pakistan is perhaps a unique country where you have this kind of a system. Otherwise, usually a tax officer has the right to select, you know, कि मैंने किसका audit करना है, based on his risk assessment, based on the information. I mean, ये तो एक temporary measure है, but ultimately I think this discretion you have to give to the tax collectors. Maybe there is a trust deficit, as Shabbar talked about, and this may be an intermediary phrase. But ultimately, it is the Commissioner of Income Tax who has to select, because he has the knowledge, and then he can use chartered accountants, you know, to do the audit. This is one thing that I wanted to say. Second thing is, we should also appreciate just one point.
वैसे सिलेक्शन के ऊपर मेरे ख्याल में आपने मेरा क्वेश्चन प्रीएम्प्ट कर लिया था, जो मुझे दूसरी दफा पूछ रहा था आपने.
Okay.
तो आपने वो बारी पूरी कर ली है.
चले वो मैं कर लिया. दूसरा मैं ये कहना चाह रहा हूँ कि देखें, try to appreciate कि ये जो document बना है in a short time, we have looked at other experiences. We have looked at Turkey. Turkey में in fact chartered accountancy profession, I was told by John Haggerty, who is the head of World Bank Financial Reporting Unit, जो ROSC वगैरह का इंचार्ज हैं. जब हम ये कर रहे थे तो I had discussions with him in Geneva, and he said that you're doing a wonderful job, because Turkey में accounting profession developed because of tax audits long time back. वहाँ पर यह इससे शुरू हुआ था. I looked at that. Then look at India. India में कैसे शुरू हुआ था? 1984 में उन्होंने अपने finance bill में finance minister साहब ने announce कर दिया कि we are starting this, you know, audit of all assessees above 2 million rupees at that time. जिसका turnover above 2 million है, सबका audit होगा. तो and you know that they implemented it. और look at the quantum they do. वहाँ पर तो selection का कोई सवाल ही नहीं है. अब वो 2 million की जगह 4 million हो गया है उनका. But they have not developed this kind of a document. And we have just started this. So the framework, number 2. Number 3, I think the taxpayers, the community should also have some confidence, and I think the tax department also, that we are trying to develop a structured system of audit, whereby there is a process, how the audit will be conducted, and this is a public document. And obviously, I must say that this is just a start. This is just a start. And as we learn, as they say, you know, there are certain things you can't learn swimming without getting into the water. So once we